All righty. We are live. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming, for the thousands watching live, for the millions watching the replay. Welcome to That Reselling Show. I am one of your hosts, the Thrifting Goomba. Thank you for showing up. I got my Padres with me. I got Oscar El Cubanaso. Whoops, that way. Johnny, Nevermore Antiques. We got special guests. And we got special guests for you. We have the tag team champions of the world of the morning show, Econ, Nate, every day I'm hustling, and Anthony-Picksburgh. So, thank you all for showing up. Thank you all for coming by. We got a good show for you today. For tonight, for on the replay, we're going to be talking about tools you use for your reselling business. You're going out there and you are trying to figure out, what do I need? We're going to give you some ideas so you can have a good shot of making good purchases, make the most money out of what you're saving. So with that, we'll get some introductions out of the way, and then we will give some people a shout out. So Big O, why don't you go first?
What's up, everybody? I'm Oscar El Cubanaso, bad boy of reselling. I'm a reseller that sells part-time. Currently have a full-time job, but I sell on eBay, Amazon, sell on Mercari, and then most recently added Bonanza.
Yeah.
But I'm especially excited about today's topic, that's for sure. Somebody's making some money, so somebody's definitely using their tools. But I'm excited to get into it.
Johnny?
Hey, everybody. This is John from Nevermore Antiques, and I've been having a real busy couple days, but money's good, and I'm pretty excited. I'm happy to be here tonight. Glad to have our guests on. They're a couple of really solid resellers, and I think they're going to have a lot to add to the conversation.
Nate?
What up, everyone? Nate, every day I'm hustling, part-time reseller, full-time job. But the hustle never stops. I basically sleep 3-4 hours a day just to get my hours in to work on my side hustle, aka reselling. But I want to go full time, so I'm pushing all my chips in and really enjoying it. And do a morning show with this guy, Pittsburgh. We do Econ and Beyond at 10 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. So come check us out.
Anthony.
Absolutely. My name's Anthony. I'm the most handsome man in Pittsburgh. Of course, they would agree with that. But my YouTube channel is Picksburgh. I do a lot of yard sales, thrifting videos. I, of course, do the morning show with Nate, and just honored, and it's a privilege to be on here with you guys.
Thank you. Let's go ahead. We got the OG, the first one. Craig the Landshark Picker, thanks. Mr. Static, another first. Who else we have here? Aaron. Aaron has a good Facebook group. He has a good Discord. He's a good guy. Got a lot of information. Let's see who else we got here. We got some flooding. Darlene, thank you very much. Clay. Clay's a good guy. He goes live and everything. He does shows on him and his friend. I forgot his friend name. Sorry, Clay. They go live during the day. Who else we got here? Jennifer, the best mod in the business. Thank you very much for showing up. Nana, thanks for coming. Nathan. Nathan. Tamara, Yell Brick. Man, she's up. It is way past her bedtime, so I'm glad she came by. Hip flipping mama, thank you. I hope your auction went well.
Mama.
Grimes Fines, hey, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. And I think that is everyone. If I missed anybody, we'll go ahead and get you. And again, thanks for everybody for showing up. So today's show's about tools that you use in your reselling business. And, I'm going to go ahead and drop down to the basic level for a lot of those, beginners, a lot of new people, and they're not exactly sure, what they do. Lone Star, how you doing? Thanks for stopping in. And I'm going to tell you something. To me, at a minimum, I think, you need one of these. You need a smartphone. It
Sure.
will help you. It will save you in the long run. I don't know why people wouldn't have one now. I guess there are a lot of people who don't. But I tell you, if you're going to do this business, it really is a tool that you should have. And then, to me, no matter what platforms you're selling on, I think you should have the eBay app and you should have the Amazon seller app. I now a lot of people go, well, hey, if I get the seller app, I don't want to have to pay all money and everything. You don't have to. You can sign up for the app and not, not have to pay the monthly fee. They have a free version per se, or a pay as you go version, right? So to me, those are the two things. What I like, and it's funny, I don't know what you guys do, but I always use the seller app first because I find either the scanning of the UPC or the actual scanning of the object works a lot better for me there than it does on the eBay app. I'm not sure, how you guys feel about that. If you guys have any, thoughts on those two, or anything else. But to me, that's like, there's a lot more, and I'm sure we'll get into it. But for me, if you're starting out, I think that's the way to go. From right there. Sonny, Las Vegas Thrifts. Thanks for going ahead and coming in. Appreciate you, buddy. Anybody else? Nate, what do you think?
For me, I use Keepa. Keepa's going to tell you basically on Amazon that all the information for the history of that product being on Amazon, so you can see how that product is, if it's a seasonal product, if it's a product that is losing in popularity, or the prices. I mean, it shows you so much data that it makes sure that your buy that you're doing can be either a shelf clear, where you just basically just take the whole, clear the whole shelf, or maybe something you just take a few and just kind of see how it goes based on limited information that it might have. So without that, there's been a few buys that I probably wouldn't have pulled the trigger on, because we all have that self-doubt whenever you're making a buy, when you're buying, say, 500 or 2 or 3, 400 of an item, that am I going to sit on this for 6 months, a year, 2 years, or it's going to go in 3 days? So that has made me so much money by itself.
Anyone else?
I got one for you.
Thanks for showing up. Appreciate you. Sorry, Anthony.
No, you're good, man. Boom. Oh, you can't see it because of my green screen. But if you remember the morning show that there you go.
There you go.
Hashtag Vendu Crew. That's a tool that I love using. I actually have an affiliate for it, but not just because I have an affiliate do I recommend it. I recommend it because it pays for itself every single month. Whenever I send 125 brand new listings over to Macari and Poshmark, and I make sales over there that I wouldn't have made had my stuff just continued to just sit there on one platform and collect cobwebs. So Vendu's been one of the things that's been huge for me as far as blowing out old inventory, because I'm getting in front of fresh eyes and all the time too. So I've really enjoyed their service. There's other types of services that you can go through, like List Perfectly or something like that. Vendu's just kind of what I know and what I use. So I've never really had any issues with it. But there's a lot of different services out there that kind of just make e-com a little easier on you, because really when it comes down to it, time is money. You know what I mean? Like, you can sit there and you can spend time doing the exact same listing 3 or 4 times, or you can sit there and do 4 listings once, So for me, it's just it's a time saving thing, and it just generates more money in sales. So I suggest it. Looks like Yellow Brick Road Reselling likes to use cross listed.
Yeah.
I've heard of that as well. I've never used that one either.
Yeah, I've been looking into that one, cross-listed. I think one thing I like about it is I don't know how much, I know Vendor. I know List Perfectly could get expensive. Cross-listed, I think, is about $10 a month. And it's unlimited. You're not limited by how many items, and looking at it, it seems very simple to use. So that is definitely a good one too.
I know another one is Sellhound, especially for those that they sell clothes. Sellhound, that's another one where pretty much what you'll do is just take a couple pictures of the shirt, jersey, shoes, whatever it is. Snap a picture of the tag, and I think in a matter of hours, or you can do it before you go to sleep. You take all the pictures you need to take of the clothing that you want listed, and in a matter of a couple hours, Sellhound will basically populate the description, all of the information. All you have to do is check the price before you approve it, and it's automatically listed on eBay for you. But talking about tools, one of my favorite tools is using Brickseek. I do a lot of retail arbitrage, so when it comes to trends and things like that, resellers, you got to stay ahead of that curve, right? So you're always gonna look for a tool that's able to help you find accurate inventory in your area. So I think that Brickseek is one of the best tools. And even if you're doing online arbitrage, if you have if you have the Extreme account, you have access to their online sales. So it's definitely a good tool. Give me 1 second. I'm on my phone. I have no internet. I'll be right back, guys.
You got it. John, what about you, man?
I do a lot of research, and one of the items that I use is an app called Google Lens. I sell a lot of artwork, and one of the things that's kind of hard to do is identify like prints and stuff. So there's a program that you can download from the App Store called Google Lens, and all you have to do is take a picture or just hold it up to something, and the Google AI will scan it, and then it automatically, if it's a known artist or if it's pretty much any item, it will let you know what it is, and it'll pull it up on the internet. And it's just a tool that I use to do a little bit more, get a little bit more information on an item that I'm trying to list, because especially with artwork, because the thing I hate about artwork more than anything is trying to decipher a signature by an artist. And I'd found a really cool picture of Jesus yesterday at a thrift shop. It'll be out. I think it was either in the video I put out today or the one I'll put out tomorrow. And it was a picture of Jesus that was drawn with a crown of thorns, and the first name looked like Larry, but it was actually Mark. I don't know. It was pretty funny looking. So I'm looking up the guy's name as Larry, and I was like, oh, I have that Google in. So I just took my phone out, opened up the program, and it starts scanning Jesus's face, and it pulls it up, and it's like, this is the artist, this is the person who did it. But it only works with people who are known artists. So if it's a print, most likely it's somebody that's a known artist. Or if it pulls up an original piece of artwork, I've had that happen before, and I found some really nice pieces of artwork by a known artist that was a gentleman that had survived the Holocaust. He was out of Florida, and I ended up selling those pieces of art together for a little over $700, and I paid $3 a piece for them at Goodwill, because Goodwill, one of the things they can't really do much about, they really don't know a lot about art. So whenever you go to a Goodwill, if the store's empty, I always tell people, learn a little bit about art and hit that art section and see what you can find.
Yeah, that is a section that a lot of people will walk by.
Sure.
You very rare. I mean, I know when I go to mine, that's one section that I don't see a lot of people stop at.
I have a piece of art up on my high wall over there that I've got priced on eBay at $10,000. It was a $6. It was a $6 pickup in St. Louis.
That's awesome, man.
At a Goodwill. That's one of the best items I've found. If it ever sells, it'll be a good return on my investment. It was all done. It was art. I mean, it was a ship. a hand-drawn charcoal of a ship, and it was so old that it's like yellowed. So I'm like, this is old. It's hand-drawn, and it's just money. So don't pass up that art section. Use that Google Lens. It works out really, really good.
Yeah, I'll have to try that. I've never tried that yet.
Yeah, Yellow Brick Road says they scribble like a doctor. Worse than a doctor, I think.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of other stuff. So like from a hardware perspective, if you're gonna do books and you want to get into the books, one thing you may want to look at is a simple little barcode scanner. Will help you get through books rather than trying to use, the eBay app or the Amazon seller app. Again, if it doesn't have a barcode, you could use Google Lens. You can use, any one of those apps. But another tool is a scanner. And there's a lot of people. There is a wide price range. You have the ones that are $200-$300. And then you have the other ones, which are, $30-$35. Jumping in when I was seriously going to consider doing books and everything, I went and I got the $35 one, the E-Yo-Yo, and I tell you, it works fine. I've never had, an issue with it, so from that standpoint, any kind of hardware you guys use on a regular basis that, helps you in your business?
I use a Dymo 4XL label printer.
Yeah.
It's pretty standard for a lot of resellers I've seen. I know a lot of people use, like Nate uses Rollo. He's a big fan of the Rollo gang. But thermal printers have definitely been big cost savings just, since I've been doing this as full-time income.
Yeah, I have a Zebra that I like. What I like, I don't know about, the amount of labels that, the Rollo or the Dymo have, but I know the Zebra that I have, I can do I think it's the 450, spool of labels, so it lasts, lasts a good amount of time, not having to change. Not that that's a huge, thing to worry about. I mean, if you got to change labels, quite honestly, it's not really a bad thing. If you're changing labels, that means you're using them, and if you're using them, that means you're hearing a lot of those cha-chings.
Right.
See, the one thing about the Rollo is you can go on UPS.com and you can get the free labels, and they send you, I think it's like 4,000 or 6,000 for free.
Really?
And I don't even have to pay for it, nothing. I lay it on my floor, it comes in a big Z stack or whatever, in a kind of accordion stack or whatever you call it. And I lay it on my floor in a box, and it just, as it pulls, it just, pulls it up, and I never have to worry about touch it or anything like that. So with the Rollo, I can let it sit, don't have to mess with it, don't do anything with it. It just goes and goes and goes and goes. I mean, that was a huge advantage for me for that. And then the one thing I use, other than my Rollo, I just bought a new desktop. For the amount of streaming I do and running dual monitors, it has saved me so much time from doing OA. The ease of just doing streams and pulling up data or info or different things. I mean, it's amazing. I wouldn't do it any other way. I had a laptop at first, and if you don't have a good video card and a good processor and everything in it, it's not going to last long. And going dual monitor, it's saved me so much time.
Yes, Justin, they do make those little Rollo chocolate things. My wife actually makes a cookie with them at Christmas in between two waffle pretzels. You heat it up a little bit, tastes unbelievable.
Sounds great.
It does. Chris the Goose, hey, thank you. Welcome for coming. Appreciate it, sir. I don't know if we missed anybody else who might have popped in. Sorry about that, John. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say hey to Chris. I really like Chris. He's one of my favorite guys out there. I trying to look at my phone here and seeing what else I use. I have a whole reselling research app underneath my reselling research, and one of the apps that I use is the TCG player.
Oh yeah,
that
for magic cards.
yeah,
use that a lot, too.
magic and all. There's a whole slew of cards that you can actually use.
Yeah, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, all that
Yeah.
stuff.
You just scan it and it'll tell you the price. So you can flip through some cards pretty quick and do some scanning and see if there's anything that is worth picking up. And another one that I use is an app called estatesales.net. And I go to a lot of estate sales. I go to a lot of auctions, and there's a lot of really good information on there. You can there's a cat. You can see a lot of you can find out where all the really good estate sales are and stuff like that. Other than that, I always use an eBay fee calculator. I have one on my phone that allows me to calculate whether or not something's going to be profitable. Me and Oscar's been talking back and forth a lot lately about different items. And one of the items that I'd found today, I did the math on it, and I'm like, I don't know if I really want to pick that up because it's out of my wheelhouse, and I didn't know if the risk versus reward was there. And Oscar, he's was selling them, and I went and looked for a couple of them. And whenever I did the math on it, I was like, let me pull this eBay app out real quick, the fee calculator. And that's what I kind of do to judge whether or not something is worth my time or worth my energy to mess with it. Like if I'm trying to negotiate a deal and say I'm looking up this item here and I'm out with you and me and Oscar's trying to sell me this little flute thing here. And I know they sell for, hey, Rev, I know they sell for like $25 and he's wanting 15 for it. I'll whip out the phone real quick. Most of these I already have memorized. I know like what my profit is on a $20 item or $25 item, but I'll put it out, put in what I paid for it, what the shipping's going to be, what the shipping will cost. And then it calculates my fees. And then if I can't double my money on something small, I typically don't mess with it. So I think that every reseller should have I said all that, a lot of long wind there to say that you should definitely have an eBay fee calculator app on your phone. It'll save you a lot of heartache, and it'll help you even justify your position to a person you're negotiating with. Sometimes if you're negotiating for big items like a $500, $600 item and you're only going to make $200 on it, you can say, look, man, I'm only making $200 on this. I'm the one that's taking all the risk. I'm the one that has to buy it. I'm the one that has to clean it, list it, ship it, and pray that it doesn't come back in 90 days on me, or get a PayPal chargeback or a credit card chargeback. So I will give you X amount of dollars, and you can see that I'm just being honest and being fair with you. And I've used it before in negotiations just to leverage a little bit of power in my corner so that I could get a better deal.
Tamara brings up a good one, mileage IQ, to track mileage. So you're not having to sit there with a notebook and a pen and remember to go ahead and do it.
Timber.
Did I mention how much I love my cat?
Was that
so little anymore?
Was that the Funko Pops?
That was probably the NES carts tumbling down.
But mileage IQ is a good one because you keep that running in the background of your phone, and when you drive, it tracks your mileage, and then when you finish driving, I believe you either, it's almost like Tinder. You swipe to the left for personal, you swipe to the right for business, I guess, or something like that. So that's supposed to be a pretty good one.
I got a good one. I think that is really important for all resellers, especially if you're trying to grow your business. And somebody like me that's part-time trying to take it full-time, one thing that's going to be important is to be able to accurately track your expenses, your business expenses, and your income. And the tool that I use for that is going to be QuickBooks Online. All right, QuickBooks Online, you pay $24 a month. You can link up your PayPal. You can link up your business accounts. If you have business credit cards, you link up absolutely everything to your QuickBooks. And it's a matter of just clicking away and being able to file everything, whether it's a business expense, if it was something that was used, cost of goods, if you're buying goods, You can actually set it into a folder for cost of goods with one click. So it's something that I definitely recommend, for resellers to use some type of accounting software, which for me is QuickBooks.
Yeah, I don't. I well, I have an Excel spreadsheet where I come home and I quickly put it in and have some calculated formulas built in. So I put my costs, and then I'll have what I listed at, and if it sells that list, what I should get based off of fees and everything, and then when it sells, it'll recalculate that for me also. I mean, there's a lot of different things you could do, but I definitely want to get to QuickBooks. I think that automation is going to be a lot better. I know if you do Amazon, a lot of people talk about, and I just drew a blank what it was called. What's the big one for Amazon that a lot of people use?
Inventory Labs.
Thank you, sir. Yeah. So I don't use it, so I couldn't remember, but that is one that I heard a lot of people talk about also. Inventory Labs, and that does a lot of things. And I know Tamara in the chat, I know she uses it, and she actually will put her eBay stuff and everything into that also. So it's not just for Amazon, so she can run all of her expenses and see everything there also. So that's another, good tool. And I tell you, but the biggest and the best tool that we have, other than John, is the community. I mean, we're all here for each other. We all should be here for each other to help answer questions. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with asking questions of the community. You find those group of people, and you can ask those questions and get those answers. There are Facebook groups that help out. There's your own little group of people. You see something, you're not exactly sure. Hey, what is this? And you can get a lot of answers very quickly, by getting the help you need. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing. The biggest tool you have is, again, the community that we have, to where we should help each other out. I mean, it's not, and I'm not talking giving secrets, but if somebody has this and they can't figure it out and they post a picture of it, I guarantee you somebody has seen this before, and somebody is going to be able to say, oh, that is the XY 4297 mouse, 4 buttons on the left, 3 buttons on the right. You'll get more information than or you get more information that you need, but you'll get your information and you'll be able to move forward with it. From that standpoint, I would not, I wouldn't be able to be successful if I felt as though I couldn't talk to anybody. So I think, and I think the thing we have to realize is the more tools we have in our toolbox, the more success we can go ahead and have. I mean, that's really, what it boils down to, of being successful, getting as many tools as you can. Don't be afraid to use the tools, because the worst thing you can do is go in and, make a buy, do no research. And the next thing you know, you're trying to figure out, okay, how am I going to get rid of all this stuff and at least try and make some of my money back, because I went ahead and blew it, So from that standpoint, anything else you guys use offhand?
I think that having a good community, a small group of people that are willing to share information with each other, utilizing instant messenger if you're out somewhere. I mean, you can't have. I mean, you've got to pick your people. It's good to have people that, if you're doing like RA for eBay or RA for Amazon, I hear Scott the Bearded Pair talking about it quite a bit, that they have a group of people that they're in a chat together, and when they find something, they share it. And I think that's the best way you get more eyes on a product. Of course, when you find something, you share it with your friends, but when they find something, they share it with you. And I think that's probably one of the biggest assets is other people in reselling. especially when something is hot, and especially in times like now where things get hot real quick out of nowhere. I mean, it's just amazing.
John, there's a question for you from Nana Tink.
Is there a special? No, just anything will work. All you want is to be able to calculate how much you cost, and they all do the same thing: how much you paid for the item, how much you sold the item for, how much you charge for shipping, how much shipping actually costs, and that can be an estimator. You know, if you've shipped a lot of items, and then you just put in whether or not you're top-rated seller, what level of store that you have, and then it calculates the fees at the bottom, and it'll tell you how much you're paying in eBay fees, how much you're paying in PayPal fees, and how much your profit is. And the one that I use is called eBay Fees Calculator, and I don't know if it'll show up on the screen, but that's what it looks like. And it's just basic as it fades slowly in and out. And I just use it, and it's perfect. If I'm out and doing retail arbitrage and it's an item that I can see what it sells for on eBay, and then I can calculate it. I found an item the other day that sold for $9. It's selling on eBay for 30 shipped. I put it in, put my shipping in, and I made $7-8 a unit on that item. And I was happy with that. So I bought some and I took it home, and I've not yet listed it. I need to get it listed so I can see if it actually sells. I don't go deep into it. Like, I'm not going to go out because I find an item that makes me $7 or $8. I don't clear the shelves. I'll buy a couple of them, take them home, see if they sell. And if they do sell, then I go back and get them and buy more. And that's just the way that eBay fee calculator. I'm gonna quit rambling now, but that eBay fee calculator just is perfect for that stuff.
Well, I think there are other pieces. I mean, software also out there, or websites that you can use when you're in a niche.
Yeah, here's a good example for a niche market. You can use a website. Pricecharting.com is a great resource for anybody that buys and sells video games. It'll give you not only like what it's selling for. Like, for example, if you go to eBay comps, you're only going to find, what it's sold for, if it's new or if it's used. On price charting, it'll tell you what it's going for, whether it's new, used, various condition levels, whether it's loose, it's got the manual, like all those different things. It'll give you different comps for like all of those different aspects of it. So it can give you the most accurate price possible for video games. Plus, you also got to factor sometimes eBay comps can be a little bit wonky based on whether or not something's like kind of plateaued or whatnot. And a lot of times video games, after a while, they might peak again. So a lot of times those comps aren't always the most accurate. So like I often use price charting if I'm listing a lot of video games at once.
Well, I think you have to in today's day and age. I think a lot of people need to be careful of just using, like the eBay comps. eBay comps, when you're looking on your phone and stuff, they only go back 90 days, right? Well, when you look at what has been going on in our country, you're going to see things that are going to be skyrocketing. And even though we may get a little further away from this, the numbers are still going to be like, oh my gosh, 400 of these sold. Well, you have to remember what happened, 3 months ago, why 400 of these sold. And so you have to, use, sometimes different tools to see, a wider range. I know, like for eBay, if you have an eBay store, you get Terapeak, which is free under the research tab when you go into your seller hub. There's Worth Point is another one to find histories and find, prices for what things go for.
Worth Point you got to be careful with because some of their prices are way low compared to today. If you see something that sold on eBay back in 2014, the price on that item, I would add 25 to 30% to it. You just got to be careful with that. Terapeak is a great program to use. And what I have done, I'll show you here in a second. Sorry, I was responding. I had a guy buy a little $8 item from me on eBay. and he bought it on the 19th, and eBay said it was going to be there on the 20th, and we have a 2-day handling time. So that was a problem. I don't understand. I told him I apologize for eBay's ineptness, but I am not going to be able to get it to there by today. But what I've done in my social media thing here, I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's an icon that I actually have created a shortcut to, it ain't going to focus, but I used Google, the Google Chrome, and I went to Terapeak. I went to their place on the internet, and I created an icon to that website so that whenever I need to look something up, I can just click on that icon, and then it just pops up the direct link to Terapeak. It'll pull it up, it'll load, and then I can do my research right there in the store. With Terapeak, though, you got to be careful. You got to remember to switch it you can go from 7 to 30 to 90 and to 365. I always forget that it's backwards, and it don't matter because it ain't helping at all. But because it's a bright white screen. But you have to make sure that you want to switch it. I always pick 365. Maybe that'll help because it darkened it. There you go. Those are your options there, and I always pick the last 365 days, 365 days, because then you get a whole year. And most of the time, it's been sold on eBay. If you look an item up and it hasn't been sold on eBay in 365 days, it's either really, really good or it's really, really bad.
True. Oh.
I for one, I'm a big fan of looking and checking comps and doing a lot of product research. I think that is one of the most important things that resellers need to do in order to give them a good idea of what's a hot product and what's not, whether they're gonna follow through with chasing that one product or not. But I'm one of the things that I use the most is going to be the eBay app. I know that we talked about this in the very beginning, but there's so much information that you can get from the eBay app.
Yeah.
You can type in the name multiple ways to see how many results fall in each search. You can see how many are currently listed. You can see how many sold within the last 90 days. And then use your judgment to decide whether that's something you're going to pursue or not. And one thing I always tell everybody, whether you're using Terapeak, whether you're using eBay, you got to trust the data. The data that you see on these tools is accurate. And Nate was talking about Keepa. 100%. You got to trust that data. Because that's those are confirmed sales. You gotta guide your decisions based off of that data.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, like there was an item that someone asked me to research for him after our show, and it was ranked 450. So normally everyone thinks 450, that's great, but it was in a subcategory of a really, really small category.
Oh.
So really that item was not a good one to go, bananas on, or even probably buy at all unless you bought like one or two and merch fulfilled it, or cross posted across all the different platforms and everything.
Oh,
we're playing. Everybody's hopping in and hopping out. There's some internet issues going on tonight, guys. Several places in the United States seem to be having some technical difficulties, so yeah, I think that's why we're having some issues.
Welcome, Chris Thrift Beast. Thank you for stopping by,
Chris.
Yeah, it's important, that you take your time, to do your research. There's no, you don't need to rush. That's the one thing, right? Look, do your research. If there's a whole bunch on a shelf and everything, that's one thing, but if you're not sure and you're in a thrift store and you see something and you're wondering and you have I know, for instance, thrift store by me. If you're in the back of the thrift store, the coverage for using, your cell data is horrible. So what I have to do is I have to put everything in my shopping cart, and then I go all the way up to the front where the window is, and I basically sit on the window ledge, and then I'll do my research rather than trying to make a purchase without looking anything up. I mean, now obviously, look, if you see something for a quarter, or you see something for 50 cents, or maybe even for $1, you go, okay, you know what? I will, I'll take that chance. I'll take that shot and everything. But as you get more and more, and if your quantities grow, you need to do your research. Kind of like on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Hey, you have to use phone a friend if you have to. If you have an expert in something. If you're looking at some old vintage toys and everything, and you need somebody for vintage toys, who do we talk to, Oscar?
Gotta call Fat Man the Flipper.
That's it, man. You call Alex, Fat Man the Flipper, and say, "Hey, Fat Man, I need your help, man. Get on the Fat Man phone. Help me out." And that's what you do and stuff. I mean, I needed help with some Barbie stuff. I went ahead and messaged Buffalo Picker. You do those type of things. You need stuff with antiques, I go to, John, Nevermore, man, right there and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, know who's in your, know who you could reach out to. Don't be afraid to reach out to people, because people will be more than willing to help you than you realize.
Right. You're exactly right. Grimes finds just, he had a question earlier. It was something about how much do you guys have listed on Mercari? Me personally, I only list video game stuff over there. It's just a crazy platform to sell collectibles and video games on. That's where I sell a lot of that stuff at. And I probably have right now maybe 20 items listed over there. But I have started using Bonanza, so I have like 1,500 items listed on Bonanza and 1,500 on eBay. But Mercari is a tool that I think that if you're wanting to know, if you're wanting to sell some stuff to a different market, that's a good one. What's the other one that I've heard people talk about? Depop, and there's another one. Grailed. Yeah. Hats. I was watching a video the other day with Tim from, what's his name? He does the glass. Over the years, he bought a bunch of hats, and the guy that he was on there with, I can't,
sure not.
They call him Tank or whatever, and he was talking about selling on.
It's like name that reseller. You just give
yeah. He was selling. He was saying that these hats, they might not sell for as much on eBay, but on Grailed they were selling for like $20 more, and I'm like, that's amazing. That's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, there's some great these smaller these other platforms, they do really well in different areas, but like Mercari, like you said, how you do like your video games and stuff like that. I've sold a lot of shoes, a couple clothing items on Mercari and things like that too. So honestly, like I do Vendu as well, like what Anthony was talking about. And anytime I list something on eBay, I just cross-post it over there because it only takes like three buttons or whatever to do that. I've sold magazines. I mean, I've sold a lot of different stuff, and it's almost like I would say like a 60-40 split between my eBay and Mercari anymore with the stuff I've been sourcing. I don't know if it's kind of stuff that I source or what the case may be, but I've had some decent luck over there, and anytime I can get something to sell Mercari, it's like a huge bonus, because before I used to never use that last year. That was something, you know what I mean? Like I didn't have last year, so it's been a huge positive boost for my business.
Right. I was
gonna say, because you were just talking about cross-listing tools. So hold on. So with the cross-listing tools, how do you find the conversion works? Because I know, all the sites are not the same as far as, the details you could put in, how big, how many pictures, how big the title could be, and so on and so forth. So how do you work that when you're using some of those cross-listing ones?
With Mercari, you can only put 40 characters in your title. And then the only thing that I would say is like the downside to Vendu is whenever you go to the categories, it like doesn't have like all the categories there. So you just kind of put it as I go like for a lot of stuff I'll go if it's not clothing or shoes, I just go to home other and then I have to go back in and change it on the Macari app. So it's the only downside to that for the most part.
Is doo-doo brown, because that's literally what they're, unless you're listing clothing through Vendu, like it's really difficult to like categorize it correctly. On the plus side though, there's plenty of times that I forget to go back in and change it from the home other, and I still have a decent sell-through of stuff that I've cross-posted via Vendu. So I don't know how much that generally matters outside of just things being found by people more frequently, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, I want to. I need to give one of those guys a try, and I need to put that tool in there to go ahead and get more, eyes on. Get more of the Google search stuff so you can see the different sites and everything. That's a really good tool and stuff to use. I mean, like Oscar, you mentioned, Bonanza. Bonanza's like another one. I mean, I'll get sales on Bonanza, but my sales usually come from somebody doing a Google search and going to and Bonanza shows up. So I'm glad that I have that and I list there also. I mean, but that's a no-brainer, right? All you do is link your eBay account and you're done.
Is there a limit to the amount of items that you can have active on Bonanza? Because some of my items are showing up as holy crap. Some of my items are showing up as orange, and other ones are showing up as green. And I'm not.
One of the. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine.
I think that one of the things, because I mean, I just recently got signed up with Bonanza, but one of the things that I noticed from Bonanza is if you have listings that you've created, one of their conditions so that they're able to post your products on Google searches is that you have a GTIN number or a UPC. One of those two need to be included in your listing on eBay in order for them to be able to take that item on eBay and post it in the Google searches. So maybe that if one shows green and another one shows orange, maybe that's an item that, the UPC does not apply, as we sometimes do.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what the deal was, but I'll give it a shot. I mean, it's free. I ain't paying anything.
Right.
Now, Mike, you said something about you wanted to try one of the cross-posting apps or whatever.
Yeah.
Vendu gives you 5 listings for free when you sign up. You could do that every month. So if you want to try it out, see if you like it, maybe you get some success with it, you get 5 listings for free every month. And then there's different, listing packages you can get. I went with the 125 listings, and this way I get most of my eBay store over there because I don't have a lot of listings on eBay. But and then I'm just going to drop down to the next, the one underneath that. I think it's like $8.99 or something like that.
Right. I tried it and I liked it, but I don't list enough on multiple sites to worry about it. I mean, eBay is my bread and butter, and it's my princess. It's, I treat it good. I love eBay, and that's the one I'm going to stay faithful to. I do put stuff on Macari just because I like having an option, and but it's definitely the redheaded stepchild. And if you're listening, honey, I love redheads, so I don't mean anything bad about that.
Don't talk about the CEO that way.
Yeah. She'll be mad. She's the CEO, the CFO, and the shipping department.
Yeah. My only fear with using a cross-listing tool is having a sale and forgetting to go ahead and take it off of another site.
Right.
That's my only fear about it. But I mean, you know what? To me, that's just, every time I say that to myself, I say, you know what? That's not a good enough reason not to do it. You know what I'm saying? You know, from my own personal, standpoint. You
Right.
know. But I think, there's with the different tools and everything, it takes time. You do go ahead and you have to take time to learn them. I know, Keepa is not the easiest one to learn. I know that takes that takes some time to go ahead and go. At least for me, I still use it. I still look at. I have I only have the free version. And what's good with a bunch of these tools, they do have free versions. So you can try them out, and if you don't like them, you go, you know what? I don't want to pay, or you go for a 1-month subscription, and see if it works for you, and if it's worth it for you, then you continue going. If it's not worth it, you go, okay, let me cross this one off. From that standpoint, what about tools do you guys use for taking your pictures for the different platforms? What do you got? Anything special?
Well, speaking of Macari, I just use my Macari listing credit that they give out per month to order this new ring light. This is a Xiaomi ZM-R16B, and this thing it takes beautiful pictures. It really does. I've tried the soft boxes. I've tried the umbrella lights. I've tried just about everything. I've even got real ghetto. I've got little lamps and just pointed them at stuff. So,
hey, there ain't nothing wrong with that now. Come on. What are you trying to say? That's old school, man. That's the way we did it back in the day. Fancy ring lamp. You young whippersnappers. Fancy ring lamps.
With your phone, taking a picture.
My wife will go out in the yard and take pictures at noon. She goes, "That's the best time to take pictures." I'm like, "You're right."
I agree with her. 100%.
But that's only good for about an hour.
I have a friend who kind of just does eBay because he thinks it's fun. So every once in a while he'll go through, he'll clean out kind of old parts of his collection that he doesn't want anymore, and he'll use it to get new stuff. And literally every single one of his pictures is literally on his deck, on top of a picnic table in the sun, because that's the only lighting he has that's sufficient for for any of his pictures at his house.
Anybody use Photo Fuse? I'm sorry, Oscar.
No.
Go ahead.
No, I sometimes think that, a lot of buyers that, are on eBay, they might prefer that, over than seeing just a regular picture that, you can find on Walmart.com or, they kind of prefer. I mean, for one, I've taken pictures in front of the fireplace, I live in Miami. I don't have a real fireplace. I just have one of those fancy ones that go on the wall. Electric. But I've put items like laptop laid on a shaggy rug that I have in front of the.
I just sound sexy.
Taking a picture of it. It's very sexy.
Me a little hot.
But it works. People love it. But
tools a little Barry White on, take some pictures.
Yeah, that's it. Marvin Gaye.
Yeah, good. Marvin Gaye.
But another tool that I use for taking pictures, if I want to erase the background, and we were talking about these tools that have a free version, and you don't necessarily have to use a paid one, is Photo Fuse. You can download the Photo Fuse app, and you just highlight, snap your image, or you grab one from your photos on your phone using the app, and you can highlight what it is that you want to focus on, and it'll remove that background and just focus on the actual image, And then you can just
another good item on that. If you don't have a phone, you can actually go to remove.bg. It's a thing that I use to make my thumbnails for my YouTube videos, and you can use it on your eBay items. And here's the deal. You don't have to do all 12 pictures like that. You just want to do your first picture so that it pops, so that people see that, and they're like, oh, I want to come in and look at that. And if you save them as a PNG file, it'll save that transparent background, and it'll work pretty good. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I use Photo Fuse. But honestly, lately I've just been going with, the pictures that come from right out of my phone from my photo box. I have this. I have the Amazon box. What is it, like the 30-inch by 30-inch one, and I have my Android phone. And I go from there. I've tried taking it with my camera, with the Nikon camera and stuff, and I just, I don't think the pictures are any better, any worse. It's just a matter of, clicking it on the phone. And then another tool that I use for my pictures is I use, Google Photos. So as soon as it's there, I can sit at my desk and just open up Google Photos, download my pictures, throw them on, and and get it done and everything. I don't list in the app. I list on my desktop.
Me either. I don't know how people do it. I just can't. I want to throw my phone across the room after about twice.
This is what I do. I take my picture with the app, and then I'll save it as a draft, so it's already started. And then I go back to my computer, and I'll fill out the rest, like with my simple export, all that type of stuff, and then I just finish the listing.
Another OG in the house, old school picker. Chris, thanks for coming in. Appreciate you.
Because a lot of times I'll find like a sell similar. I'll click sell similar. I'll take my pictures, and then I'll go down to the bottom, save the draft. So my pictures are already in eBay. And then if I want to use the background cutout, which I don't usually use the phone one usually that much because I have a white background and a white table, so it's pretty much already whited out anyway. But sometimes it just kind of looks better depending on what it is, just having it all cut out. And then, like I said, I just save draft, go to my computer, and I just finish the rest of the setup, because on the phone, you can't list multiple international prices for, like, say, if I do just Canada flat rate and then through worldwide for the other one. So you can only pick one. So because of that, I have to use my computer no matter what.
Yeah, definitely true. Kim asked a question, and actually, best offer can be used as a tool for you. To me, honestly, for best offers, it depends on how much I'm selling the product for as to whether or not I have best offer on. I've gotten, and I made that change. I wasn't that way. From listening to everybody, was always put best offer on everything, put best offer on everything. And, if you have lower priced items, you don't have the wiggle room that you need. So, for me, I go, it has to be, a certain price or a certain type of product for me to have best offer on. And then, I don't know, to me, it just depends on what I feel like that day, of what percentage. It may be 13% one day. It may be 18%. It's never a normal number. It's never 5, 10, 15, or 20. It's always something just a little bit different. If I was going to do 15, I might as well just do 16. It just sounds a little better to the customer. And what's another, 1% if I'm talking about, a $45 item? It's not going to, be that big of a deal.
Yeah, you just have to try. I mean, the worst thing they're going to do is say no. And if they say no, then if it's an item that I've had listed for a while, then I might just jump on an offer. But if it's an item that I know it's going to sell eventually, like I sold one of my Metal Johnson outboard signs from the 1950s today. A guy made me a $500 offer on it. I was like, I know I can get $50 more out of this guy, and I'll be happy with $550 in free shipping. So I countered for $550, and lo and behold, the guy's like, another $50 on a rare sign. I'll do it. And so it just depends on what you've got and what you're selling. The thing that I like to utilize is the make offer to buyer. That's my favoriteest thing on eBay. That is the best thing eBay has ever done, hands down. And they stole it from Macari, or no, Poshmark, right?
Hey.
See, I don't mind putting best offer for all my items. The reason being is because I think a lot of the buyers we'll look at all the different prices for everything. And okay, this guy's a little bit higher. He's closer. I could get it a little faster because his handling's better. I'll make him an offer for the same amount as this other person. Or maybe they would give me a ridiculous amount. It's all activity that's going to my account, and any type of activity is good activity, from listing to someone sending you offer, sending a counter offer. Even my counter back at my original amount that I have it listed for, or whatever the case is. Because I always list my stuff up high. Like, say if I want $20 for an item, I might have it at 30, 25 or whatever. Most of the time I'd say probably 30. And then I run like a 15 or 20% sale sometimes. So I set it up so I'm usually running sales most of the time. And I want people to send offers because it seems like they want a wheel and deal. They want to get a better discount or whatever. Or they always try to get free shipping built in, which with that price the way it is, most of the time I'm getting my price anyway with what they wanted anyway. So it just kind of works out that way. I don't know. It works for me. That's the way, everyone can do it a little bit different. That's what makes this amazing.
Yeah, it's the tools are there, and they're again, there's a lot of things that people don't think of tools, like you said, best offer, tools. There are people who think free shipping. There's so many different things you can use, to help you in your reselling business when it comes to the different tools and everything. And I think you have to, like I said before, find the ones that work best for you. If you have 10 people telling you, man, you need to use this tool, and you try and use it and you don't feel comfortable with it, don't go ahead and keep using it if you're not comfortable with it, because it can cause you more harm than it can good. Right? I mean, if you're not familiar with Keepa and you read it wrong, Nate, in your opinion, can that go ahead and hurt you?
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially if you're going to try and clear a shelf. Yeah. That's why I don't mind people sending me messages and saying, hey, can you check this for me? I don't mind that at all, because I rather, me say, in my opinion, I wouldn't do this. And then I explain why. And then I send them screenshots of, my whole thought of it and what I looked at and what was the outcome of why I thought that. So this way I can kind of teach them something, and I'm showing them what I looked at to kind of see why I told them, no, they shouldn't get this. Or maybe, heck yeah, go ahead and buy everything. Go to every store and buy it all. I hope someone messaged me with the UPC or whatever, and that's the case.
I had an issue like that come up one time. I was at Walmart, and I thought I found the replenishable of all replenishables on Amazon. So I hit up Nate. I was like, dude, pinch me. I think I'm dreaming, because I feel so looked it up with the Keepa and everything like that, and it was actually ranked good. So I was right about it. But the thing I didn't factor out was it was a refrigerated item. So basically, for me to be able to transport it, I have to get some kind of styrofoam cooler, like that, with the dry ice or whatever that would not melt, to keep it refrigerated temperature till it got to its location and everything like that. So it's even little nuances like that you wouldn't quite think of, all of the things that go into transporting what the item is to any specific location. And Nate was just like, dude, do you realize what all is going to go into being able to sell that item? It's not as easy as just throwing it in a box and saying, here you go, Amazon, do your thing. You know what I mean? And it's you got to make sure it gets there and it doesn't smell like rotten meat or whatever.
That's funny.
You got to send those meltables at the right time of the year.
Yeah.
The calendar is
another. Sorry about that. Yeah, I was going to say another tool in that case that you could probably use for your reselling business: common sense. And if you don't got it, have someone close to you that does.
Voice of reason.
I guess I have a little bit of that, I guess, right? I'm not going to say I have it all, but I got some of it.
Yeah.
Well, Nate, we know that you're Anthony's common sense.
You're part of the reason I didn't poison a whole bunch of people.
Hey, to help the world, that meant that just that much.
Oh, hey, with that, we've been going for an hour and 4 minutes here. I want to respect everybody's time. So we'll have some closing words, and then we will, wrap this up. Guys, hey, promote anything you need to promote, and go ahead and Anthony, why don't you go ahead and start? We'll go clockwise.
Absolutely. So tomorrow morning, guys, we're having Ecom Beyond, the morning show Nate do. It'll be on my channel at 10 a.m. Eastern time, and we're going to have a very special guest with us, your best you. Her name is Candace. So I'm looking forward to being able to showcase her to our audience. Other thing I wanted to share with you guys is this Saturday at 3 o'clock Eastern, Nate and I are twice a month auction, and it'll be on my channel. So you guys are into auctions and like really cool stuff, come hang out with us.
Cool. Big O.
I mean, from what I took from everything about the tools, I just wanted to close with the most important thing is definitely to have common sense. But if you are available on Saturday and common sense is not of the utmost importance, at 9 p.m., check out the Bad Boys of Reselling, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This weekend is going to be on Fat Man the Flipper's channel.
Woohoo! Go Alex.
John.
Hey everybody, it's me, and I'm got no common or sense. I don't even know what that means. But I will be doing an interview show tomorrow with the January House on my channel. It will be at 6 p.m. Central. He seems to be a really interesting guy. Has a lot of great knowledge. Other than that, we will. That's pretty much it. I just make daily YouTube videos, and I'm trying to get to 5,000. I want to get that 5,000. So if you are not subbed to me, Oscar's going to pay everybody $50 who subs to me. So just don't forget that.
And I'm charging it to Mike's credit card.
All right.
So,
Damn.
So I'm guessing I'm Anthony's voice of reason. I learned that while I was on the show. But no, I mean, me and Anthony are always here for anyone that needs help, and of course, these guys here as well. I'm sure they would help anybody that have any questions, Amazon, eBay related. We really enjoy helping the community and making sure people make good buys, not bad buys, because bad buys can really sink your business. So if anyone had any questions or need any help with anything, just message us. We have a Facebook group, Ecom and Beyond. So check us out on Facebook, and you can drop questions. If you have stuff going on for your shows, anything like that, just throw it in there.
Yes, I want to thank everybody that came out tonight in the chat. Thank you all. I appreciate each and every one of you for coming and listening. I hope we're able to give you good value, make you think about a couple of things. That's what we're trying to do here with this show is, when you walk away, you have a couple more things you can go ahead and think about with your business. I want to thank Nate, Anthony, for taking the time out of your night to go ahead and be with us. Thank you very much. Anthony, I do want you to go ahead and give one more plug for your Flippin' Hope.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't know why I always forget about that. That should be like the most important thing since it's number one. But yes, every Tuesday, Flippin' Mama and I do a Bible study on a channel called Flippin' Hope, and we invite everybody to come, whether you go to church or don't go to church, regardless of what your background is. It's kind of a come as you are type thing, and the judgment-free zone. So if you guys want to come hang out, we read the Bible, we pray, and it's pretty unconventional. Sometimes I get a little wild and crazy, but I'm wild and crazy for Jesus, and I'm not ashamed of it.
Thank you. And like I said, we're here to help with all those people in the chat. If you have any questions, come back to the video, put them in. We'll get them answered for you. And with that, again, thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Next Wednesday night, hopefully Oscar has good internet. We will be on.
Yeah, sorry guys.
We will be on his channel, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Mountain, 7 p.m. Pacific. And if you're in Hawaii, I'm not sure what time it is.
Good luck with that. The special guest will be PewDiePie, so everyone spread the word.
Mr.
Special
Beast,
guest.
PewDiePie's on.
Oh yeah. PewDiePie's on my
PewDiePie's
channel.
the
Mr.
following.
Beast is on yours. Yeah. Forgot. My
With
bad.
that, thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Have yourself a great night. Peace. Thank you.
Mr. Beast 3000.